So now that we've presented the argument, let's summarize what we've learned. So what have we found? Our simple model estimated the most favorable probability of the first simplest cell having its energy needs met by chance is 10 to the minus 5 billionth power. That's a very small number and it's hard to wrap our heads around it. We found two ways to do this. We estimated the smallest probability in our universe is 10 to the minus 140th power. That means to achieve a similar probability as the first cell, you'd need 35,714,285 universes. But we only have one universe, and so this is nonsense. Then we looked at the Powerball. We found you need to win the Powerball 42 quadrillion, 328 trillion, 500 billion times in a row. Doing a little analysis, you find that that's equivalent to a natural law. Obviously, winning the Powerball that many times, becoming a natural law is just ridiculous. Just a reminder that this is the best case circumstances. We're only examining the single factor of the energy needs of the first simplest cell. There are many other factors we ignored. So we find that this fails the nonsense detector, and we conclude that undirected macroevolution didn't happen. Now there are some obvious questions we would like to discuss. The first is, has this model of Harold Morowitz been refuted? The answer is no. The monograph was first published in January 1968, almost 60 years ago. As far as I can tell, there's been no rebuttal to it that addresses the core findings. So why hasn't this been discussed more in biology? Well, it's not a pure biology model. The model exists at the intersection of three disciplines: physics, chemistry, and biology. And it requires knowledge of all three disciplines. In the next module, I'll tell you about an anecdote about a discussion I had. And the outcome of that discussion was a realization that biologists don't understand the math that we're talking about here. And because they don't understand it, they can't discuss it. And when I read this book, I was amazed at what was put forward. It just seemed so plainly obvious to me. And I couldn't understand why biologists didn't understand it. Now I believe the answers, they just don't understand the math behind it. When I did read it, I reached out by email to Dr. Morowitz, and I asked him, what the outcome of this was. And he said it hadn't been refuted at that time. And I did a little more research on what Harold Morowitz pursued after this book, and it looks like he gave up on undirected macroevolution because he saw there was no way that it could actually have happened. Instead, his research pursuits changed into looking for natural laws that made life inevitable. So he rejected chance. Instead, he looked to necessity, that there would be natural laws that made life inevitable. So this concludes Module 3 of our playlist series, Does Evolution Make Sense? Just as a quick reminder, there are 6 modules in this series. Module 1 talked about the context for discussing evolution in terms of definitions and other things. Module 2 was an analogy, an argument that showed that the first cell is too complex to happen by chance. Module 3 was this module. The next module will use a new scientific model to show undirected macroevolution could not have happened. Module 5 will be a strategy to discuss this with people, and Module 6 will be a summary of the highlights and insights from the series. I would ask, if you can, to please subscribe to this YouTube channel before you forget. Also, we do have a Substack. Please feel free to subscribe to our Substack, which is exblindacademy.substack.com. Thank you very much.